George J. Schmitt III, 88, died unexpectedly in Castle Rock, Colorado on December 1, 2019. He was born in Chicago on November 24, 1931, to Bernice Coltra and Victor Thayer Schmitt. George is survived by his wife, Beverly Schmitt, his 3 living children, and his 5 grandchildren. George was preceded in death by his parents, Victor Schmitt and Bernice Coltra Logan, and his daughter, Victoria Schmitt. Beverly and George were married for over 20 years, and together they enjoyed traveling, dinners, and parties with friends and entertaining. George grew up in Geneva, Illinois, and attended Lawrenceville School. He graduated in 1955 from Dartmouth College, where he majored in sociology and was a member of Alpha Delta Chi, Dragon, and ROTC. George was commissioned in the U.S. Army as an active reserve unit and served as a lieutenant in the U.S. Army. He was a passionate and devoted friend and shared his love of golf, skiing, and hunting with many colleagues. He was a member of several golf clubs in his lifetime. Of note are Geneva Golf Club, Chicago Golf Club, Denver Country Club, and Castle Pines. Some of his highlights included Geneva Golf Club Men's Champion, a hole-in-one, and a Chicago Golf Club Senior Championship. George served on numerous boards of directors and was a philanthropist, donating to the Lawrenceville School, Dartmouth College, and Torrey B. Schmitt Foundation. George was especially fond of his late daughter, Victoria Schmitt, who died tragically on July 7, 1999. In honor of her memory, George founded the Torrey B. Schmitt Scholarship. The Endowed Scholarship Fund was established at the Denver Foundation in 2009 and has been making scholarship grants since 2010. The goal of the fund is to provide impactful multi-year scholarship grants for young women from disadvantaged backgrounds who wish to attend a college or a technical or vocational program that will help them become self-sufficient adults. Since 2010, the fund at the Denver Foundation has granted more than $140,000 in scholarship grants to 7 scholars. As for his success with Hinckley & Schmitt, with over 50 years in the industry, George began as a salesman 2 years after graduating from Dartmouth. He was promoted to Vice President of Sales, Route, and Retail in 1960, and in 1965 became President and Chief Executive Officer. As the grandson of the original founder, Schmitt reorganized the family business and spearheaded building a new bottling plant in Chicago, replacing the original built in 1915. He was a third-generation bottled water patriarch, preceded by his grandfather George Schmitt II and his father Victor Schmitt. George was CEO and president of Hinckley & Schmitt Water from 1965 to 1996 and was monumental in the growth of the bottled water industry in Chicago, the United States, and the world. He was one of the founding members of the International Bottled Water Association and is enshrined in the Bottled Water Hall of Fame. Under Schmitt's leadership, the company grew from a small local company with revenues of less than $1 million to a $200 million highly profitable industry leader. He had a proven track record for making industry acquisitions and successfully negotiated the sale of his family business to large French conglomerate Anjou in 1982, and he helped sell the company to Suntory, a Japanese conglomerate, in 1996. Following in his ancestors' footsteps and the noted careers of his grandfather George Schmitt II and his father Victor Schmitt, George was the driving force behind the family bottled water business. Hinckley & Schmitt Incorporated was founded in Chicago in 1988. George J. Schmitt II had come to Chicago from Beardstown, Illinois, to train as a pharmacist. He was working as an assistant in the Gale and Block drugstore in the Palmer House Hotel when he noted that many health-conscious consumers were buying bottled water at the store. In closing, we join in celebrating George's life and legacy. We toast his 88 years and his vision of bottled water for many generations to come. He was a pioneer in the industry and touched many lives. He loved his family deeply and will be sorely missed.